Hey guys, how you doing? It's your girl Lisa, the melanated medicine woman, coming back at it with another video. Today's Tarot Tuesday, so we are going to be discussing the current planetary alignments, how we might be affected by them, and what we can do at this time to support ourselves. All right, so let's start with the good news. No, I'm just kidding. Well, the good news is Mercury is no longer in retrograde, so yay, right? So those ex-girlfriends and ex-boyfriends have probably scurried back from whence they came. I'm just kidding. Also, devices such as laptops and cell phones and tablets and cars and stuff like that, they might not be acting up right now because we're no longer in retrograde. I literally had to purchase a brand new car 10 days ago, like the last day of retrograde, like the very last day, last Saturday. I had to go out there and purchase a car. But it's okay. I'm back with my first love, Honda, so all is good. And let's see what else. Effective communication is probably now restored. But if not, guys, if you're still noticing some of this stuff going on, even though Mercury is direct, the energies are a little more, it's like residual. So it's like in a shadow time, like a shade time. So I call it Mercury being in retro shade. Just kidding. So what else is going on? You might, even though Mercury is no longer in retrograde, a lot of people might be still feeling like, they might be feeling the blues. And if so, so many things are going on, guys, but let's start with 4 planets are in retrograde. We have Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. They're all retrograde, okay? Actually, all of the planets right now are in a peculiar placement. They just are. And it's later we'll talk about it, but what's being called for is a cosmic leveling up. All right? But we'll talk about that in a couple minutes. So also, guys, we are in the last degrees of Cancer right now, okay? Because Leo season is about to start in 2 days. But right now, we're at the tail end of Cancer. We're in the last degrees. We're in the 27th, 28th, and 29th degree. And when we're approaching that time, it can be very depressing for a lot of people, all right? Especially being that the new moon is in Cancer. The dark moon is in Cancer. So, Cancer rules the past. So, we already talked about this. People might be very nostalgic. People might be very depressed right about now. Okay. And in similar news, Chiron is retrograde in the sign of Aries. And this placement is going to be here until December 15th. Right? So for those that don't know, Chiron is a very small celestial body. It is both an asteroid and a centaur, right? And so Chiron is known to be the wounded healer. So when Chiron is in retrograde, it's time that it's calling for us to confront our feelings and our emotions that we have suppressed and pushed down instead of processed. So it's time for that to happen for our well-being. And again, this stuff, the events right now, the planetary placements and how we're being affected by them, this is not happening to us, it's happening for us. Okay. And I see and feel like a lot of this going on. I feel like I'm, checking in with a lot of my peeps, and a lot of people are still, feeling, this energy, right? What else is going on? Mars is in Aries. We talked about this in a couple videos ago, right? And this placement is going to last here until January. So Mars in Aries, right? People are going to notice that they are a little more impulsive, a little more aggressive. Mars is a planet of war, right? So people might be easily triggered, easily angered, just more arguments. Right? But because this placement is going to be here till January, we got to figure out how we're going to respond, right? We can't just be out here just, wilding out on people and stuff like that. We have to really, be mindful of how we respond, because the way people treat us as they're feeling the effects of this Mars and Aries, we can't control that, but we can control the way that we respond, right? Let's see, is it time to get into the tarot? I'm debating if I want to bring this up, but I feel like it's very important. Also, guys, we are currently in a 10-day portal. I know some of you might be like, Lisa, okay, I'm not even into astrology. Now you got me watching these astrology videos. Now you're talking about portals. You know, where are we going to go with this? What's next? But yeah, so we are in a 10-day portal, okay? It ends tomorrow. It ends on the 22nd. But according to the Mayan calendar, and as we know, the Mayans were brilliant civilization, the true astrologers, right? They, among, other civilizations, right? But anyway, they were prophetic. They were able to, they were able to do so much. And they were able to predict so much just off of their astrology, off of their knowledge of astrology. But according to them, according to their calendar, we are in what's considered gap days, GAP, which stands for Galactic Activation Portal. So this is where, within the gap days, within the portal, this time is when the veil between the worlds, the dimensions, is at its thinnest. So during this time, people might be feeling just heightened feelings that they can't even explain. They might be unusually intuitive. They might be depressed. They might be exhausted. They might be feeling anxious, or they might just be like, oh my gosh, I don't understand what's going on. This is just too much, right? And like everything that I've been mentioning, guys, we've been seeing it out there, on the news. I don't really watch the news. I just see what's on my feed. But anyway, like for instance, crazy stuff's happening because of these energies, guys. I mean, Megan Thee Stallion, she got shot. Nick Cannon, I won't speak too much about that, but he spoke his truth, and the powers that be, they didn't like what he said, so they fired him, and then now he's apologizing profusely. And anyway, and even, let's see, Tamar Braxton, she is a Pisces, and she allegedly attempted suicide, right? And the reason why I mention her being a Pisces is because with all of this cosmic energy going on, a lot of our water sign, friends and family, they're really receptive. Water is a very receptive sign. So you'll notice like a lot of, your water sign friends, they're very intuitive, very psychic. They have these dreams, these prophetic dreams, they're very sensitive to energies, right? But anyway, so you guys, that's basically, I mean, we could talk about the Leo moon, we could talk about other things, but I just kind of wanted to talk about some things that is, going on in the world. But regarding the gap days that we're currently in, the way we can support ourselves, I guess with everything going on, right? There's 3 things that we can do. I could just name off the top of my head that we can do is first, we could acknowledge that everything that's going on, like I said before, is not happening to us, it's happening for us. If we take that stance, then it kind of shifts, the way we look at things and how we could respond, right? Well, the first tidbit of, I think, how we can support ourselves in these times is to just stay present, right? We talked about dwelling off in the past and focusing on the future that leads to depression and anxiety. So if we just stay present and just stay mindful and focus on this very moment, that is going to be, because that's all we have is now, right? That's all we have. That's all that exists. Anything other than now is just an illusion, right, guys? Number 2, what we can do to best support ourselves in these times is to be compassionate and kind to ourselves. Like really notice the self-talk, the narratives, those old tapes that we play in our head, right? And also noticing, how we treat other people, because the way we treat other people is really how we feel about ourselves, right? And sometimes, we could improve, we could work on that. We can improve on our relationships that we have with ourselves. And the third tidbit is kind of taking it easy, right? Taking it easy on ourselves, resting right now. Now's not a time to do too much, all right? I'm not saying don't progress and don't move forward. Absolutely, all the time. But just, just be patient, right? Just be patient. I think that a lot of times, just looking out for ourselves, sometimes we feel selfish for looking out for ourselves. We're so used to putting other people first that just looking out for ourselves, number one, we feel like we're being selfish. And if that's the case, well, sometimes we have to be selfish then, right, guys? All right, let's get into it. Let's ask Spirit, what type of guidance that the collective could, use and utilize, to best support us in these times, all right? Spirit, all right, please bless us with some guidance that we could use for the collective, for all of us. Thank you. Okay, it's Tarot Tuesday. Let's get it, guys. Let's see what Spirit has for us. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. So, guys, right now we have the Ten of Swords, right? The Ten of Swords is basically about endings, right? Now, mind you, remember we talked about the swords being in previous videos. The swords, usually the original picture on the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is about a gentleman laying on his back and 10 swords are going through his back. This deck is a little nicer. It's yummier. It's I don't know. It's a softer feel. But again, the swords is the air suit. So it's all about the way we're thinking, the way we're processing, the way we're communicating. But it's about endings because the suit starts from ace and goes all the way to 10. Well, in the numbers, but then it goes up to the king. But anyway, this is the end of the suit, the tens. So this is about the endings. It's about endings of thought processes. So right now, Spirit, guys, is encouraging us to really look at the way that we've been thinking and really processing that and looking at how it's been serving us. That self-talk that we've been talking about, those old tapes, it's time to put those to rest. You see how she's just, watching the birds fly away? Have that be those thoughts, those toxic thoughts, as we talk about in therapy, as clinicians, all my therapist friends, hey guys, that stinking thinking, right? Those thoughts that no longer, they don't serve us, right? Just see them as these, like, not really the healthiest thoughts, just going away. All right. Okay. And let's look at the bottom of the deck. Okay. Oh, wait, I'm sorry about that. And then here is the Page of Wands. All right. So the Page of Wands, guys, is about stepping into your power. Like, look at her. She's having a great time. The Wands is a suit of fire. So it's about your passions, right? So she is like, this is about, you see what she's doing with her wand? Like, she's doing her thing. So basically, guys, the Ten of Swords is about, release these toxic thoughts, that you're telling yourself or about your experience. Wait, let me go back to this, guys, because again, let's talk about the law of attraction, right? About, as you believe, so it be. The word spelling is all about how what we say, we put a spell on our lives by what we say, right? As we believe, so it be. I'm just looking at the time. We're at 13 minutes. But we really have to be mindful of what we're casting in our lives. Well, I could say a lot of examples, but I don't want to take up too much time. But Spirit's really guided me to share that we have to really mind our thoughts and our words because we bring those energies. I was just thinking about it yesterday. I saw something on my feed on Instagram and it said saying, stop chanting, no justice, no peace, or I can't breathe, because what it does, it perpetuates that. It creates more of that. Even Mother Teresa, she didn't believe in talking about a war on drugs because even she knew the law of attraction. She knew it's like that which you speak of, you're bringing more into you. You know what I mean? Because what we are, we're magnets and we're mirrors. So the universe, what we talk about, the universe brings more of that to us, right? So anyway, getting back to the Ten of Swords, guys, really think about what you are calling into your life. You know, this job makes me sick. And the next thing, you know, then now you calling out sick, or, you know, stuff like that. We really have to mind our words, because we are co-creators of our existence, right? So when we feel like the, oh, poor me and all this stuff, think about how you've been talking, because you've been calling the energies into your life. So now is a good time to talk about positive affirmations. You know, like today is one of the best days of my life. Everything has already fallen in place in my favor. And so it is, right? Claim what you want. All right. You know, just realize that you have the power, right? And then after that, the medicine is like the Page of Wands. We see her just, this is about creative expression. She is focused on what makes her happy. That's what her focus is on, because what you focus on is what you bring forth. You know, what you resist persists. You know, if you keep talking about what you don't want, you're actually going to bring more of that in. You know, so basically the Page of Wands is telling us to focus on what it is that we do love. Let's get back to our passions. Let's talk about what we love to do. Let's, you know, shift the focus on what we want to bring into our lives. You know, because again, we are magnets and we're mirrors. And when I say we're mirrors, it's like attracts like. So also, you know, when we notice that we keep attracting the same type of person or circumstance, it's because we're the point of attraction, right? So we have to take accountability for the state in which we're living right now, you know, to some degree. Of course, a lot of things are outside of our power, but as far as there's a lot of things that we can do to control what, you know, how we're living. And it starts here, and it starts in our thoughts, right? But so yeah, so anyway, guys, before I sign out, because we're a little over 16 minutes, just focus on what makes you happy. A lot of us are, you know, that are blessed to have jobs. You know, we're sitting there, we're thinking like, you know, we spend most of our time at our 9 to 5 thinking about like our passion, like our purpose. Like, what are we here to do? You know, I saw this one post, like, you know, don't treat your, what was it? Don't treat your purpose like a side bitch. You know, spend a lot of time. The relationship you have with your passion is one of the most important relationships you ever have. You know, but we have to be brave enough to step out there and walk in our purpose. Because a lot of times our purpose is not aligned with our 9 to 5. But I mean, we have to do what we have to do to get where we want to be, right? But look at her. Like, she's living the time of our lives. And what we have to do is we have to be courageous enough to put as much time into ourselves and our passion, what we actually agreed to do when we came here this lifetime. And we need to put that passion into that, put that passion into ourselves. And just know that, you know, guys, for us to truly, you know, heal ourselves and to put ourselves first, you know, self-care is number one. And if you feel like you need to seek somebody, you know, seek out help, that's not weakness. In a lot of cultures, it's seen as weakness, you know, going to, you know, admitting that you have a problem or admitting that you need help. That's self-care. That's the strongest thing that you can do. That's the most courageous thing you can do. But anyway, before I let you guys go, I want to talk about Wellness Wednesdays. I'm thinking about doing that. Okay. I'm thinking about on Wednesdays, making videos about, you know, tips and tricks on, you know, how we can heal ourselves. So just let me know if that's something that you guys might be interested in. All right. Wellness Wednesdays. Because, you know, I'm not only just a licensed therapist, I'm also a certified holistic healthcare practitioner. Right. So I want to, you know, I want to help heal the whole person spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. So guys, let me know if you would like videos on Wellness Wednesdays, because, you know, I would really like to give that to you guys. All right. I'll see you next week. All right, guys. Bye.